You're listening to Historical Perspectives with Mr. Mault. Learn about life by looking at our history. Teachers, for more information about historical perspectives, search Mr. Mault's Marketplace on Teachers Pay Teachers or at mrmaltmarketplace.com. Happy learning!
Learning freedom. Lewis carefully wrote the second word he was learning to write, Mississippi. The first word he learned was his own name, of course. The teachers taught them all their own names first. The letter S was the hardest for him to write. And it was in both words. Mama sat next to him, and she had a hard time with S too. They'd only been free a few months, but they already had a school. Freed slaves came from nearby towns, and everyone worked hard to fix the old building. Their classroom had two teachers. One was from the north, and she talked funny and smiled a lot. She was the only white person in the room. The other teacher was from the south. He was a freed slave like all the students. It was Lewis's Uncle G. He learned to read and write in secret, and now he was teaching others. When they finished writing the word, they held their slate boards high over their heads. Lewis's board had a few backward S's, and other boards were missing P's. The students yelled Mississippi together and then erased their boards for the next word. Uncle G went to the big board. "Here's another word for everyone," he said. "We'll do this all together again. Ready? I promise you can all pick your next words after that, all right?" Everyone nodded and readied their chalk. Grandma held her chalk high in the air waiting. She smiled at the 6-year-old next to her because she had both of her hands in the air. A pile of chalk was on her lap. Lewis's whole family was there. Everyone was learning together. Grandma wanted to be able to read the holy book. Uncle G wanted to read important papers. Lewis just wanted to read because it seemed important, and it seemed fun. Uncle G said the letters aloud as he wrote them one at a time. F was the first letter, and everyone said F as they copied it onto their own slate. Then R, and then 5 more letters. Uncle G waited until everyone finished each letter before he wrote the next. Then he turned and read the third word. It was freedom. "Freedom," Uncle G said. "Freedom," the students answered as they held up their slate boards. The sound of those voices learning freedom together was like a promise the little schoolroom held up high in the air. The teacher said it again. "Freedom. Freedom," the students answered again, and it went back and forth like that a few times, until Grandma started singing. It was something Lewis had heard 1,000 times. It used to sound sad, but it didn't anymore. Nobody erased their boards. They just lined them up against the wall and started learning the song.
Thanks for listening to this Historical Perspective. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe. Also, search for Historical Perspectives on Teachers Pay Teachers to learn more about other topics, such as the Golden Gate Bridge, Henry Ford, schools in the early 1900s, and so much more. Happy learning!